daughters is especially challenging. I have two daughters. One is a young adult, one is a teenager. And it ain't no joke. It's not for the faint of heart. But guess what? God called us to do it.
Yes, yes, y'all, and you don't stop. Yes, yes, y'all, and you don't stop.
What's going on, everybody out there in TV land, on YouTube and on Facebook Live? We come to you tonight to interrupt your regular scheduled program to bring you a hot topic. Hey guys, if you on Facebook, go ahead over to YouTube, search Nutz and Boltz of Life, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and share. Right now, our page is kind of down, but still go to Nutz Boltz of Life and subscribe to that channel, because we will be on that channel. We will not be on my channel. We will be on that channel for next episode. Nutz Boltz of Life. All right, y'all? Also, remember, these are the views and the opinions of the people on the panel. Again, these are their views and their opinions. So yes, please comment on Facebook. Comments on YouTube, but let's keep it tasteful. Let's keep it classy. Let's keep it sexy. Let's keep it grown. All right. Let's see your comments. Go read them out today. All right. Also, on the top of YouTube and on top of Facebook, I pinned my Stop Playing Apparel company. As always, support starts at home. So support your boy. And with that being said, welcome to Nutz and Boltz of Life. My name is Edmund Chapman. I am the CEO of Stop Playing Apparel.
I'm DJ Play.
I'm Obi.
I think Cena mic is mute.
And that is Sheena, our first lady. Play, who you got with you today?
I got one of my babies on here. She's grown now, but she's one of my babies. She's a mother herself. She actually have two kids. My boy's son and the DJ. Hey, look. She's a newborn, so I'll be forgetting. You know, I'm getting old. But anyway, that's one of my babies. That's my daughter Denise.
Denise, DD, how you doing today?
Hi, I'm okay.
All right, glad to have you on.
Son,
Also, we got my boy. Y'all seen him before. Mr. Switch Army Blade guy. He's a content creator. He's a man of God. He's a father of 3 beautiful children. He's a husband. He's a go-getter. Again, y'all, go to Grown Man Styles. Grown Man Styles of something y'all got to deal with. Mr. Derek, how you doing, brother?
What's up, everybody? My name is Derek Johnson. This is my firstborn, Camille Johnson with a K. She's a junior at the Winston-Salem State University, and she's one of my 2 girls. My middle child is Kamora with a K. She's 17, senior at Palisades High School.
All right, how you doing, Camille?
Doing good. How are you?
Oh, she's standing on business. She's standing on business today.
All right. I'm sorry, y'all. So y'all know we have fun on here, and DJ Play have a little technical difficulty. I'm sorry, y'all. Hey, before we get into this topic tonight, y'all, I want to send a shout out to Chantel, T. Chantel. She's been very, very sick this week, and our prayers are going to her that she get a full recovery. She get over her sickness. I think she actually is online right now watching us. So Chantel, we are praying for you, and we hope that you we cover quickly because we would love to have you back on again. All right, so tonight's topic is parenting through the lens of their children. Yep, tonight's topic is parenting through the lens of their children. So we're gonna get to it. So I'm gonna start off asking Miss Camille a question. We're gonna start off with Miss Camille. Camille, you ready?
Yes.
Camille, what was it like growing up in your home? Like, you don't got to wax real deep. You just can give us a brief description of what was it like growing up in the home with your parents.
Overall, it was great. I had loving parents that were present all the time. I was also raised by my godmother and her husband, so you know I kind of got the best of both worlds. They raised basically the same, you know, very strict kind of, you know, on disciplining and school and manners and stuff like that. So I learned a lot from both of them. So
that's good. That's good. Miss D, I want to ask you the same question. What was it like growing up in the home with Carlos and your mom?
It was okay. I feel like it was a lot of different. We moved around a lot, and different schools growing up in different areas, and just a lot of observations. But overall, I love my parents. They both loving and nurturing people. They took very good care of me and my siblings.
Okay, it's good. It's good. It's good. Hey, Derek, I'm gonna come over to you, brother.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna go back to Camille for a second. Camille.
yes.
Can you name a few, whatever you want to name, rules that you absolutely did not like, but now as a young adult, you understand why they gave you those rules?
Okay. This one's gonna sound a little crazy. It mostly was him. I was not allowed to play with boys growing up. Like I wasn't allowed to. Like I would try to and I would get embarrassed. So I wasn't allowed to play with boys unless like it was family, which that doesn't count. I wasn't allowed to like hang out with certain people like by myself. I couldn't like go and run off when I was younger and like just hang out with people who I just met that day. I couldn't just skip school for fun. I couldn't just be that kid in the very back that never paid attention or never participated. I couldn't disrespect my parents, you know, whenever like slamming the door, running out on them just because I got. You don't have to add that part. Sorry. I couldn't, you know, just run off and say like you're upsetting me. I couldn't yell at them and like just outburst and say everything that just came to my mind. So that's a few that I can think about right now.
And okay, I want to backtrack real quick.
Okay.
You said that you couldn't play with boys. What do you mean you couldn't play with boys?
Like I couldn't.
You mean like dating or like actually playing with them, like playing kickball and football and whatever?
Yeah, like I couldn't do that. Like I couldn't. Like at one of my churches, it was a lot of children, and I wasn't allowed to play with the boys that were there. Like I couldn't sit with them at church because they weren't obviously paying attention. But I couldn't sit with them. I couldn't go outside and whatever it is that they did, I couldn't do that. I couldn't play tag with them. I couldn't play hide and go seek. I just couldn't do anything.
Let me put a little color on this.
Wait, hold on, Derek. Wait, hold on.
Accurate though. Go
Hold
ahead.
on, Derek. You about to wax me? Wait. Let me quarterback this thing, Derek. Let me quarter. You see how he Facebook? I'm not a child. You see, he's ready to jump in. Ready to jump in. Hold on, brother.
All right.
So before you jump in,
Okay.
let me ask you. First of all, did anybody got anything to ask her before I ask her this next question? Because I'm going to ask her. My next question going to be to her is, what did she learn from that now as a young adult? Like, But before she answered that question, do anybody got anything they want to say to what she said thus far?
Yeah, I got a question. This is probably Ed talked about it earlier, but do you understand why your dad didn't want you playing with boys and why he didn't want you sitting with boys at church and why you just couldn't run off and do things like that?
Yes, 100%. When I got to, honestly, to college, it really did take a long time and just different experience that I experienced myself and also saw other people experience that I didn't experience. And not saying that people who I hung out with that did hang out with boys that they turned out bad, because that is not true. But I did see things and hear about things that I was like, okay, well, that explains why I couldn't do that. And my parents were very, very much well known, so it's like if I did do something and I got in trouble or they did something to me, it was going to get around. So that would have not only been detrimental for me, but for them as well. So yeah.
Okay.
And Mr. Ed, what was your question?
Hold on, Sheena. Play. Do you got any questions for what she said so far about this? What she said so far? Y'all got anything?
Well, I say at that time, did you think your parents were really strict?
When I was younger, yes. Them and my godmother and my goddaddy, to me, they were strict just because I really couldn't do much, I guess. I mean, I was able to have fun. I really couldn't do what I wanted to do at the time, whatever I thought was fun, like being able to sit in the back of church. I don't know what I thought was so fun about that. I just wanted to be with people my age and people that were older than me. I just wanted to be a part of them so that I seemed cool. I wanted to look like a cool person. But I mean, I would still say they were strict because, if I did do something wrong, I still got in trouble. Like, I distinctly remember sneaking off. I wouldn't say I ran away, but I remember sneaking off before church with somebody. I have no clue who that girl was. And they thought I disappeared. And somehow they found me in a random chair in the church, and I got yelled at for like 30 minutes before the service started. So it was great.
All right. Sheena, before you go, I want to. So Facebook, we're talking. The topic today is parenting, but through the lens of their children. So we're asking the kids a lot of questions, and we're gonna let the parents talk in a second because they ready to talk. I want to hear from the kids first. I'm sorry, young adults, because we have no kids on here. Everybody's at least 20 or older. So we hear from the young adults, and then we'll have the parents. So that's the topic, Daniel. Parenting through the lenses, eyeballs of the children. Sheena, do you got anything you want to say before Camille answer this next question? Did we let Derek come in?
Do you feel that was the hardest part about growing up as a kid?
Yes, only because at the time I thought that they were my friends. Obviously, they really weren't because they just didn't know me. They knew of me because of my godmother. She was a part of the church, and so was my dad. So they knew of me, but I considered them my friends just because I wanted to be nice. Like, I wanted to be friends with them. So of course, it gave me a different outlook on things. Them, because I still know almost all of them, and that was when I was at least 7 or 8, and I still know almost all of them. So just seeing how things turned out for everybody and just seeing how we all grew, it really made me think about a lot of things.
So my second part to that question was, now that you're a young adult, you're a junior in college now, right? Junior. What do you think? Do you think they was right, or you still think it was strict, or do you understand?
I do understand why I wasn't allowed to do certain things. I feel like, because I still have this opinion now, I feel like publicly publicly disciplining me, I didn't like that, because I didn't like that other people saw me get in trouble. I felt like it was very embarrassing because I didn't like, I always assumed that they thought I was just a child, because I always used to think only kids get disciplined, which obviously I was, but I definitely understand why, because I don't know what their intentions were. They probably just wanted to mess with me just because they never really did get to talk to me. So when they did, it was, oh, like, you're cool. But again, they knew my parents didn't play. So I'm pretty sure they did do it kind of just to poke and pry and just to see how far they could get without either me getting in trouble or their parents finding out and them getting in trouble.
Okay. Derek, Mr. Derek, what do you think about what Camille said? And what was your reasoning for such actions stored upon her?
She is 100% accurate. Everything she said, she didn't embellish at all. In fact, I could tell you many more stories of things that we didn't want her to do or didn't allow her to do. But everything she mentioned was 100% true. And honestly, I grew up the exact same way. I always felt like I wasn't the one that was able to have fun or even like go explore, get in trouble, sit in the back of the church. My dad was a minister. He sat up on the pulpit. So if I was in trouble, it don't matter where I was, front of the church, back of the church, he was gonna see me. And if I saw his eyes staring into my soul and I'm in the back acting up, I knew I was getting in trouble. So that was just raised in me. And so the same thing for my children when they started getting a little bit older, I already knew kind of what was going on. And no judgment on the kids that sat in the back, but I knew those kids weren't sitting with their parents. So the opportunities for them to do stuff, not be paying attention was obviously going to be a lot greater. So yes, our children sat right next to us during church service, not in the back with their friends. And I knew that drove them crazy. It drove me crazy umpteen years ago when it was happening to me, but I understood the reasoning why. And I mean, come on, I'm gonna be honest. I knew they didn't like it. I knew they didn't understand it at that age. But that's just part of the burden of being a parent, right? You can't be their best bud. You got to be their parent, and you got to give it to them. You got to give it to them hard sometimes when you know they're not going to like it. And yes, she was basically raised by two sets of parents, me and my wife and her godmother or godfather. So it was real tough for her to like do anything because people had eyes on her all the time. So I definitely knew it drove them crazy, but I'm thankful they didn't rebel that bad. Yeah, they did a couple of things that we probably still don't know about to this day, but they were being children, and to me, they still operated under the umbrella of respect, and having been raised by parents that were trying to do the best they could. So I'm proud of her for that. We joke now because she's a young adult. So we joke about the things that we didn't know about back then, but we're just now finding out about. So it's kind of like a joke now. But obviously when we were when we were in the thick of raising young girls, it was tough on both of us. Now she probably don't think it was tough on me, but it was tough on both of us.
So Derek, I want to put you in the hot seat real quick, Derek. Why, if you went through that with your parents and you didn't like it, why you put your kid through the same thing? Just wondering.
Because as much as I didn't like it, as an adult, I saw the value in it. I'll give you an example. I was the only person in my family that could swim, but my mom would not let me go to the pool by myself. Now I'm a 12, 13-year-old boy. I could swim like a fish. My mom couldn't swim. My dad couldn't swim. My brother couldn't swim. I was the only one in the house that could swim, but my mom would not let me go to the pool by myself. And you know why I wanted to go to the pool by myself? I wanted to play with girls in the pool. There used to be all these cute little fast girls in the pool, in bikinis, and I wanted to be in the pool with them. And secondly, back in the day, I don't know if they did this anywhere else, but in my neighborhood, we used to do something called running a train. That's where you run and you dive into the pool and you come out and then you run around and you dive into
Whoa. You said running the train?
Yes, that's what it was called, but it had nothing to do with what you're thinking. It was
Oh,
called, yeah.
Whoa, PhD show. It's a PhD show.
You missed the explanation. It had nothing to do with that. It had everything to do with diving in a pool. So a whole bunch of boys were just running a line, dive in the pool, jump out, run around, dive in the pool, jump out. That was very dangerous because they were diving into 3 feet. But they were pros at it. But I could swim, but I couldn't dive very well. So I know that I probably would have tried that if I had not been going to the pool with my mom. I'd probably be dead or paralyzed by now. Because I promise you, that was the one thing I wanted to do. I wanted to dive in the pool and show off in front of girls. I was so mad that my parents would not let me go to the pool by myself. But as an adult, I realized that that was probably a life-saving move that they did. So that is why, even though I knew they didn't like that kind of discipline, I did it because I could have been shielding them from something, or at least giving them the best opportunity to pay attention in church, to get what they needed to get, and to keep them out of trouble. So yes, I did things that they did not like at all, but I, at the time, and I still do believe it was for their good.
All right. Before we continue going with Derek and Camille, we're gonna we're gonna go to Miss Didi. Where you at, Miss Didi? We coming over to you now. We want to hear from you now. What were some rules that you did not like in your house?
It wasn't really any rules that I didn't that I didn't like. I'm sorry, I have a baby here.
So
There wasn't any rules that I didn't like. Like the rules that was set in place was to keep us safe. Like don't open the door for anybody. Don't like we had to come in the house at a certain time. That was understandable. And we had to get good grades if we wanted like a gift, or not a gift, but like, you know, if we wanted to be rewarded for some good behavior, it was mostly to keep our grades up. And that was understandable too. Even though my grades was never good, I always had bad grades. Here, take your sister.
Wait. So you trying to tell me, as a child, you understood like, yeah, I'm supposed to be in a house with street lights. I'm cool with that.
I didn't like going outside anyway.
Huh. Wait. We gonna come right back to you. Wait a minute.
Okay, because I got.
So play. You didn't have no hard rules in your house. It was a free for all. Cause I'm not bad. I'm sorry, y'all. This child said it wasn't no rules I didn't like. Everything understood. And I'm like, wait a minute. Obi, come on in for a second. Obi, come on in. I'm tripping.
No, let me tell you.
Hold on, play. Obi, come on in for a second.
Hey, I'm not understanding that one either. Play. I mean, you got to have some basic rules like no cell phones at the table. You know, you got to be home and in bed by a certain time. You got to get grades, or I'm gonna take that cell phone away. I'm gonna take the TV out your room. You can't close and lock the door all the time because I'm gonna take the door off the hinges, and you ain't gonna have no door, no privacy. You had to have some type of rules, Play. Please tell me you had something.
Well,
you
let me tell you.
Girls with no rules.
I had 3 girls and 1 boy, and they was
no
pretty
rules.
much. No, they was pretty much good. They already had an understanding where we stood. I always talk to my kids about a whole bunch of things. So they pretty much have understood of where me and my wife stood at. You know, we didn't have to keep telling them the same thing over and over again because they pretty much understood. The only issues I have with my kids is the grades. And I used to have them, you know, reading books and all that, you know. And she didn't tell y'all is that they couldn't have no boyfriends.
I think that's all men. That's just all men.
So was that was that a rule that she didn't like? Because she didn't mention that one. Or she understood that rule too.
Well, they must have understood because they used to always had it. Denise, I'm mute.
Sorry.
They always hid if they did have a boyfriend, they always hid them all the way till they was grown.
No, that's not true. That's not true.
Oh, there you go.
I wasn't interested in dating when I was younger. I wasn't interested when I was dating. I wasn't interested in dating when I was younger. But he did tell us we wasn't allowed to have boyfriends. I maybe that was why I wasn't interested. Like I didn't date anyone in high school. I didn't get my first boyfriend until after high school. I mean, I did have crushes in high school, but I didn't like pursue anybody, if that makes sense.
So when Carlos told you couldn't have a boyfriend, you was like, all right, cool. You wasn't mad about that?
No, I wasn't interested in boys. I was interested in making friends. Like I didn't have friends in high school. I mean, I didn't have friends growing up. Like I wasn't able to make friends because we moved so much. when we was younger, we kept moving, so it was impossible to even have a boyfriend or make any friends. So I was more interested in making a friend than having a boyfriend.
Hey, let's go back to the
Hold on,
rules. Let's go back to the rules real quick.
Hold on real quick. Hold on. Facebook, YouTube. Carlos had the most dynamic relationship with his kids. Or no, I'm just right now. I'm just kind of confused because I've never, and it's kind of cool. I ain't judging it. We just asking questions here. I ain't never heard a kid say there are no rules I didn't like none. Not even a boy rule. I get it. Sometimes some kids don't like boys and stuff. I get it. But she said not one rule he had.
Okay, I got one.
All right, here we go, y'all. Let's go.
It's not that serious though. It was the fact that we had to clean the house before we went outside, and when we would clean the house, you could hear him talking to my mom like, "This is what kids is for. They're here to clean the house and to mow the lines and take out the garbage. That's what are they here for? They can't live here for free." That was the only thing. That's it. Like, that's the only thing. Like, when I wanted to go outside, I wanted to go outside right then and there. I didn't want it to stop and clean the dishes, especially if I didn't make the dishes and I got to go and clean some dishes. That was about it, though. That's the only thing.
All right, Carlos, before you respond, Carlos, so Marie on Facebook said, my mother made you eat whatever she cooked. So some of it I didn't like, so it made me throw up. My kids, I just needed them to taste it. If they don't like it, they ain't getting it no more because they're going to throw it away like I did. So she said her mother made her eat whatever she made and she threw up.
That's
her kids.
You said Marie, right? You said Marie, right? That's my sister.
Right. Her kids, she just wants them to taste it. If they don't like it, then you don't got to eat it. That's good, Marie. My parents won't like that either. You got to eat that liver.
Marie's kids are privileged. Marie's kids are privileged.
I'm not that type of parent at all. Like, if I cook something and my son don't like it, then I make him something that he do like.
Wow.
That's me too.
This must be the new day and age, people, because old parents, you gonna eat what's on that plate. We're not about to make a second dinner. Like, Facebook, I know, right?
But luckily, my parents cooked everything, and I ate everything that they cooked, so I didn't have that problem.
No. I'm talking to the new age, the people that's about 40 and younger, and you got kids. Do you just cook whatever they want? How y'all do it? Let me know, Facebook, YouTube. Let me know how y'all do it. Carlos, do you want to say why you told them that's their kids' job?
Yeah, because we was doing everything. We was feeding them. We was sheltering them, everything. So they had to relieve us from our work that we already did. That we go out and work and come home and they not doing nothing but making noise.
Do you feel like you belittling your child by saying? Do you feel like you belittling your child by saying this is their for? Like they're slaves? Do you feel that way?
No way.
We need one at a time.
We was the slaves. We the one that was the parents was the slave. We was doing everything, for them, slaving for them. So they had to do for us, because we was doing more of the slaving, making sure they eat good, I wanted to address that, because we used to move around a lot, and I do regret that a lot, that we had to move. We moved so much because maybe we have, we was having bugs or something. One time we had it because we were getting too many bugs in the building. We got to keep moving because the landlord disappeared and we didn't know where he at or whatever. It was always something that have us moving every time we look up, we got to move. It was, and I regret that we didn't have a stable house until later on in our life. We end up having a stable house for them, but they was pretty much teenagers. Go ahead.
When we had finally moved into the stable house, that was when my childhood, I felt like it got real good. and
Right.
our cousins. But it was really fun. He made sure that we did something every weekend, like to a movie or out to eat, or took us to like an arcade, or we always did something with him, whether it was volunteering. And when we did get bad grades, he would make us go to the basement, and he would make us do some workbooks for like about 2 hours. That would be our punishment. I didn't like it then, but I really appreciated it when I got older.
What
Hey,
made
when
you
you guys
appreciate it
moved
when you
into the
got
new
older?
house,
Go ahead, Older. I'm sorry.
did you guys have any rules, or was things still the same? He just kind of let you all go like willy nilly and do whatever you wanted to do.
We moved into the house. I finally went to high school, and the rules did get stricter, but I feel like that's when I started acting out. I was doing all types of. I was being real bad, and and I was always on punishment at that house. But I mean, I still had good memories. It just, it kind of got out of hand at one point.
Do you think it got out of hand because he had rules in place
Because yeah, because the
and you wasn't used to it?
place I wasn't, I wasn't listening to him. I was doing whatever I wanted to do, and yeah, I
So you
got
was rebelling. You was being a rebellious teenager.
basically yeah. I was really rebellious. To my parents, then I started talking back to them.
Mm.
They didn't really want to put their hands on me, but my mom put her hands on me one good time, and after that, I ain't do too much after that.
I don't remember her talking back to me because I get violent. So
I would roll my eyes at you.
Hey, you can
uh,
Tell them the story.
I wouldn't talk back to you. I just rolled my eyes at you, and you would go back, or I would stomp up the stairs and slam the door, and he would be right behind me to choke me up.
Wait, hold on, y'all,
oh,
hold
you
on.
remember that, huh?
Hold on, Play.
Yeah.
Hold on. Camille, I see you over there pointing. What you
Mm-hmm.
doing over there? I see you pointing stuff. What's going on over there?
I was just saying because she said that when she was disrespectful to her mom and her mom like they got active, that she never did it again. It's just because my dad did most of the discipline growing up, and like all my friends, they said their mother did most of the discipline, like whooping and whatever not detention, what's it called? The grounding. Yeah, that. My mother didn't do that. He did all of it, and everybody's like shocked that he used to beat us and punish us.
So let's clarify beat.
I was about to say. Go ahead, brother.
Let's clarify. So yes, I whooped him with a belt. Did I ever put? I may have hit y'all like open hand.
Yeah, you did that to my sister.
Yes. So they went through their bad little phases, especially when she hit like 15 or 16 and she got the big mouth. That's when her mom almost put hands on her because they were like this. And so yes, she'll get mad at me for saying this, but she deserved a lot of them whoopings. Most of them. The worst whooping I ever gave her when I actually put whips on her, she was bullying somebody.
That's not why.
You were bullying.
That's not why I got whelps. I got whelps
because you got a spanking with some shorts on or whatever you had on.
No, that was the year that stupid teacher called you and said I was laughing during silent lunch.
That she was being disobedient, being bad at class.
I wasn't even in class.
Point blank, she got spankings. And she got more than one, so it took more than like a couple of spankings for her to get it through her head, and she had to follow the rules. But look, that was back in the early 2000s, and we was spanking in the Johnson house. So I know that's not super popular now, but it is what it is. She's grown. She's not violent. She's not an offender. She's never been to jail. But yes, she's got plenty of, because that's what people say nowadays, that if you spank children, they develop this violent, disposition. And I'm sorry, I just couldn't disagree with that more. Now, one thing she'll tell you is we would explain to her why she got a spanking, either before or after. And we would make her, her godmommy used to do this, make her give her a hug and tell her she loved her after she got the spanking. So it wasn't just getting disciplined out of anger, but it was getting disciplined on purpose. Understanding why you got your butt beat and understanding that you should not do that thing again. Otherwise, you're going to get your butt beat again. So it was just it was just plain. Like, that's how it was.
I always understood why I got whooped. My thing was, like, was it really that big of a deal? Like, did that deserve to get, like, because the whoopings were very painful. Like, he is not light-handed. He's very heavy-handed. And so was my godmother. She has big hands, and she's very heavy. She never used the belt either, which makes it worse. Her hands, she's very heavy-handed.
I use the belt most of the time.
And it always hurts. And then she would always be like, it's going to hurt me more than it's going to hurt you. It's not. Because I was tiny and skinny. I was like this small. And on top of that, she would spank me in front of people. Like, she didn't care. She would spank me. Like, one time, I was trying to mess with a little boy again. And he got mad and he snitched on me. So I snitched on him back. And the teacher, which was my godmother's friend, was like, just go to your godmother. I didn't know that she had already told her what I did. She just looked at me and just said, come here. And she just spanked me in front of her class and told me to, and I just walked out afterwards. And I was just like, wow, that was not necessary. I did not need that. But
she's all better.
So there, let me ask you a question. Like, so was y'all's okay with public spankings of someone else, even though it's a godmother?
She was a godmother. She lived right next door to us. And she raised, when I say she raised them, she raised them. Literally, like, from, I don't know, a couple of weeks on, she helped raise them. We were still relatively young. She was our first. I remember a time when she would not go to bed. It was 12 at night. And I was like, Shelby, you need to come over here. She came over here, helped us put her to bed because she just wouldn't go to bed. And so, yes, it was just like she was a surrogate parent. And so we trusted her to discipline Camille and Kimora growing up. Now, every situation, we may not have done it that way if it was us in that situation. But again, we trusted her to have our best interest in mind. She's jacked people up over our children when we weren't around, meaning people who were either saying the wrong thing, doing the wrong thing, had bad intentions. We knew that woman would fight a grown behind man over our children. So knowing that we had that kind of covering when we weren't around, yes, if they needed to be disciplined, they got disciplined.
you didn't even know most of the
I
time.
know. I'm learning a lot of the stuff that happened now.
So the Bible says, "Spare the rod, say the child." So y'all was doing that, huh?
Yeah. And like I said, I know it's not popular now. And as they got older, like our youngest is 10, I don't think he's ever gotten a spanking. And they get a little salty about that. For one, he's a totally different human being. He's
Fair.
Yeah. And she just said it's fair. He's totally different. He's not as rebellious. All I got to do is look at him and he's like, Daddy, I'm sorry. And he just don't do the stuff that they did. Like, he just doesn't. So I can't even think of a time I spanked him. So are we raising him different than we raised the two girls? Yes. And it's the passage of time. There's 7 years difference between him and Kimora. So 7 years of us not having a baby, and then we have a baby. So a lot of things changed. We changed as human beings and as people. We still raised our kids in a certain way, but there were certain things that we didn't do anymore. And spanking was one of them. So we just kind of, we still were able to discipline our children without spanking them later on.
Hey, does he have the same set of rules that they had growing up?
So yes and no, right? He's just 10, so he's not a teenager yet. He's pretty much 100% with us. Would I let him go to somebody's house and hang out? Not unless I knew that person really well. And that was part of what she was saying earlier. We didn't let them hang out at a lot of people's house. We just did not. If they weren't with their godmommy, or their godmommy didn't know the person, or we didn't know the person, they wasn't necessarily going over there. And so we had to kind of know where they were going to be. If somebody wanted to hang out, they could hang out at our house. And we would understand if the parents didn't trust us because they didn't know us. We just got it. We was like, okay, that's cool. We'll find some common place to go hang out. If you don't want to go to nobody's house, that's fine. But understand that I'm not letting my child go to your house if I don't know you. And it's even to this day, as my middle child is 17, and we're still very cautious about where she goes. Now we again, every child is slightly different, and so we've kind of gotten not lax, but we've relaxed some of the rules for every successive child. So we have not let. She didn't go to a party in high school. My 17-year-old hasn't gone to a party in high school. But in retrospect, this one will tell you she went to plenty of parties her freshman year of college. And she got stories on top of stories that she can tell you. But now she's not really going. She's not really going to parties. And that wasn't because we told her anything that she could or couldn't do, because she's a young adult and she's out of the house and she can do what she want to do. But she made up her own mind that the parties that she was going to wasn't the thing she wanted to do anymore. So at some point, we had to kind of release the reins, so to speak, let her be an adult and let her make some decisions on her own. But freshman year, you know, she was doing the whole party thing. She got a chance to experience that for herself. So,
all right, we gonna segue to the next question. We went deep on that thing. All right, so Carlos and Obi, Sheena, you can answer this question too. Especially Obi, maybe not Sheena as much. Your kid's still young like mine, but Carlos, Derek, and Obi. The question is, if you could change anything, what would you do differently? Carlos, you go first.
I'd say that if I could change anything from the past, I'd say I would. I don't really know. Like everything was well. Me and my wife, we had an off and on relationship, so I think I would have been more kept our household a little bit more stable because you know we was at odds sometime, and there's a couple of times that we just broke it off. And I went my way, she went her way. Then we got back together, and we did that about a few times. And I would change that.
For me, I don't know if I would change anything about the way I raised either one of my kids. Um, if I had to, and I don't even know the right way to say this, but I would try to stop like some of the generational curses that were raised in my family that I probably took into being a parent myself. Um, it's just those generational curses, they hurt. But I think for the most part, I think I was a pretty good damn dad. Um, both of my kids went to HBCUs. Both of them graduated from HBCUs. They came from a broken household, but I think I did well. Um, I would not have changed one thing I did as far as discipline wise. Um, and like Derek, I did everything but put the fear of God in my daughter's life to tell her to stay away from boys because that was just like it was like Lazarus. I hated boys. I was a boy. But one thing I did realize is that my son, and my daughter are 2 years apart. I did let my son get away with things that I would not let my daughter get away with, and she still brings it up to this day. You know, I mean, I can't even tell you about some of the things I let my son do that I didn't let my daughter do. But raising girls is hard, and as men, we know that. So
Yes,
we
it
have
is.
to keep them closer. We have to keep them closer. We have to protect them because there are some savages out here in this world that will do whatever they can think of to try to take advantage of them.
I think for me, this is probably going to sound kind of strange, but I would probably have early on not been so consumed with church. And that's because I was in the ministry. And so I spent a lot of time at church. And I know most people are like, well, that's a good thing. But, you know, the word says that your household, your home is your first ministry. And there were times I spent a lot more time at church than I did at home. And so I think finding a better balance was, especially early on, it took me a while to find that balance. It was like, oh, I'm at church, I'm doing the right thing, I'm doing the Lord's work. But again, the most important ministry as a husband is with your wife and with your family. So it took me a while to find that balance. I definitely have calibrated myself better now in my older age. When I was younger, early on, that was a little bit of a struggle for me, and it just took time for me to learn. So I would definitely have wanted to calibrate myself faster, earlier when my kids were younger. So I'd say that would probably be the one thing I'd like to kind of balance out better.
Camille, what
Yeah.
would you want your parents to do differently if you had a chance to go back in time?
Um, Probably the level of disciplining, kind of like it's kind of hard to explain, but like, cause I see it happening a lot now. Like, when you do get in trouble, parents always tend to listen to parents versus kids. I guess because you always assume that a parent's not gonna lie to you about what their kid did. But it's possible, and it has happened where an adult will kind of like drag what I said or what I did and took it completely out of context. And of course, they knew who my parents were, and they just automatically told them. And of course, they took their side because they were like, well, they would never lie to me about something that you did. So I kind of just wish they had just come to me and be like, okay, well, what happened? Like, yes, I'm young. I'm only 8 or 9. But I generally didn't lie growing up, and I still don't. I'm a firm believer in not lying. So, it would have been nice for them to for them to come to me before being punished and like, did you actually do that? Did you actually say that? Just so that it could have been of like, okay, maybe she was wrong, but she doesn't deserve to get yelled at, or for her to have to apologize to you because she didn't actually do what you said she did. So, yeah.
Miss D. Miss D.
Sorry.
If you could do something differently, or have your parents do something differently, what would that be?
I don't. Nothing. I don't know. I like my parents. Nothing needs to change. Everything about them was perfect. I mean, the discipline was needed. Nothing needed to be changed. I liked growing up with them. There was no problems. I didn't have any problems with my family. If that
Okay, I got
makes
a quick question. Does your that's your little son right there, right?
Yes.
Does he have any rules? Does he have any rules
Yes.
growing up? Okay,
Yes.
he answered that very quickly. Okay, so
Yes.
he has more rules now than you had when you were his age.
Yeah.
Okay,
The,
okay,
the
okay,
Didi,
Camille, I got a question
wait,
for you.
1 second. Hold on.
Hmm.
Hold on 1 second. Did y'all like the rules when I remember I used to have a problem with y'all putting color in y'all hair?
oh yeah. We couldn't put color in our hair until we was 18. And we couldn't have tattoos or piercings until we was 18. Um, but but my mom wouldn't let me. She kept telling me she would let me get a tattoo, but she was like, if you want to be in modeling, you can't get no tattoos. They don't allow models to have tattoos. And and also, what else? He told us that we wasn't allowed. It wasn't that many rules that I could object to. I feel like I was like a fair teenager. Like there was, like I wasn't doing too much. I watched other kids act
Told
out.
you, y'all was some pretty good kids. Y'all already
Yeah, we,
understood.
we didn't really do too much. I mean, there was times where I would open the door and I was opening the door for people, and he would get really angry with that. But that was it. Like it wasn't too much to deal with. Like I feel like I didn't really give him a hard time growing up. But that's just me. It's like 4 other kids that you can talk to about this. I don't know about their side, but that's my side.
Hey, Camille, as maybe being a pending mother one day, would you raise your kids any differently than the way your parents raised you and your siblings?
Yes, of course.
In what way?
Well, for one, what I just talked about like talking to my kids before disciplining them based off of what somebody else said. If I do have boys and girls, I am gonna try my best to discipline them in the same way. Not allowing one to do something but not the other. Because I know, like people say, in life to not say life's not fair. Because I mean, it's not, but still, like I think they should get disciplined the same way so that they can understand why. and they don't have to feel like, well, because I'm a girl I can't do this, or because I'm a boy I can do this. But everything else, yeah, you know, keeping up with grades, manners, and other stuff like that, I think I would keep the same. But it's just like little stuff that I'd probably change, but nothing like extremely major.
Okay.
Hey, on YouTube, China said Carlos and his brother was bad as hell.
I can
Hey,
believe it. I can believe
hey,
it.
we had to be. I wasn't bad. We lived in the projects. I mean, man, we had to be kind of rough in the projects because everybody was rough. So yeah, we adapted to the, you know, to the other boys that were trying to beat us up and everything.
She talking about Tyrone.
Yeah, Tyrone was more. Tyrone was a little bit more thuggy than me. He was in those streets, but I always had to fight for him.
Hey,
Okay, so
Derek, you were saying something earlier that was really interesting. What was you saying earlier?
Oh, raising kids is tough, man, at any age. But obviously, raising daughters is very challenging. Like I just said, I got a 20-year-old, 17-year-old, and it's not for the faint of heart. It is not at all. You got to be about it. And you learn every day, right? You learn day by day what to do. You find out as an adult now when they become grown what worked and what maybe didn't work. All parents try to do the very best they can, I think, to raise their children. But guess what? Children are unique. They're all unique human beings. So there's not a book, there's not a formula, there's not one perfect way that's going to work for every child. Yes, we take our cues from the Bible, but we also need to take those cues and make sure we customize them for our individual children, how we're raising them, and their individual personalities and what we want to impart in them as parents. So it ain't no joke. It's challenging, but you know, most of us are trying to do the very best we can to raise decent human beings.
Hey, I got a question for Didi. Didi,
Huh?
I have a question for you. Can you tell me something that I don't know when y'all was little? Y'all did something. Go and tell on yourself right now. Tell me something that I
oh,
didn't know
what
that y'all
time was
get
this?
away
First
with.
of all,
When we was younger, we when all our cousins used to come over, we would go to a golf course. It had like a little river bank, and you know it would be wintertime, and we would go ice skating on it, and it was very dangerous. Because of course you could fall under the ice, you know, and it could get real serious real quickly. And one time we went and we were skating, and the ice started cracking, and I almost fell through the ice.
Mm.
I almost fell through the
oh
ice.
my God.
And our cousins, they pulled me to safety or whatever, and they was like, okay, let's not do that again. But that was about it. I mean, it probably was something else. I can't think of it, but I mean, I did a lot of stuff behind your back. We went outside one night. I stole mom's car keys. I didn't take her car though. I didn't take the car. I just stole her car keys. I feel like I left something in the car and I was trying to get it. But y'all was so
Hey,
strict. I didn't.
now you on Nestle. I seen you and Day Son sneaking out the window one day while I was in the bed.
Sneaking
I
out the
seen
window.
y'all sneak out the window.
Me and Daddy.
Yes, you and Daddy sneaking out the window.
Oh, I remember.
Yes, I seen it. And I was about to get up, but I said, you know what?
I remember that. Okay, wait. I remember what you're talking about. It was the front window, and
Yes.
you had to like reel it open.
Yeah, I seen
front
y'all.
window.
I seen them. I just didn't say nothing.
We was trying to hang out with our friends on the front porch, I guess, in the middle of the night. I think it was like 1 a.m. or something.
I remember I seen y'all. I seen it. Y'all
You
didn't know I
something.
never.
You didn't just stay quiet. You said something. Well, you
No, I
let
did,
us continue to go out the window though. Like
I didn't say nothing to you because I knew your mama was gonna raise hell, so I just left it alone.
Wow.
I thought you did say something though.
No.
I'm so glad we got cameras now.
Okay.
They got cameras everywhere over the house now.
Yes.
It's a camera everywhere. The back, the front, the inside of in the living room. You can't do
I don't know
nothing
why.
now. Locations, you got the locations on the
Yeah.
phone, so now you can see where they at. Like,
Yes.
I don't know why this neighborhood is so nice. Nothing's gonna happen.
Yeah, but it keeps y'all from sneaking out.
Why would I do that?
I know she wouldn't do
I
that,
would
but
never do
again,
that. Like,
it's for security. It's to keep the whole family safe. If anybody roll up here, we can be on top of that. And yes,
everybody in here can fight. So,
Hey, you know what that sound like, Camille? You know what that sound like? Home Alone. When they said we live in this nice neighborhood, nothing's ever gonna happen here. And what happened in Home Alone? What happened, y'all?
What you don't
They
know.
broke into the people's homes.
No, what you don't know is that people target good neighborhoods. So we still we gotta remember where we came from. We still gotta stay ready.
But we have nosy neighbors who sit outside for hours and just stare, especially at our house. The lady, she just sits and she just stares at our house. So if somebody's dumb enough to do that, I know she'll come over and say something because she just sits and stares. Sometimes she'll speak if she wants
Karen. That sounds like
well, yes and no. She's not really a big fan of dogs and stuff. She just likes to be nosy. Like I can hear her conversations from my window. We're not gonna talk about that, but she's watching our house for us, so I think we're okay.
Y'all got your own little security.
Basically.
Okay, so I have a question for both of you ladies. So Camille, I'm gonna ask you first. What are 3 things that you are thankful for that your parents instilled in you?
God, education, and mannerism.
That's good. Dee.
Education.
You have to think about it, girl.
Yeah, I gotta think about it.
Yes, she got to think about it because y'all had no rooms over there.
Education and making sure that we straight. Like whatever we needed. Like we needed cars. Y'all got us a car. Like it was everything that they did was. I can't think of nothing though besides education and wanting a good future for us. I mean, we didn't go to college, but that was our choice. I didn't.
Mhm.
I mean, I tried, but
I did teach y'all how to be women. How to be women, and even though y'all slip up a little bit, I had to get on y'all a little bit as y'all grow up, because y'all, yeah,
Oh, go ahead. Oh, go ahead. Oh, I'm about to go too. Go ahead.
I gotta stop you. I gotta stop you. DJ Play.
Yeah.
How did you teach them how to be women?
Well, I told them about boys. I pretty much told them how we are.
I told us how to carry ourselves.
Yeah, I didn't allow them to do, being those.
He always talked about wearing natural hair. He didn't want us to wear no weave in our hair, and I really didn't like that.
Yes, I didn't like. I say, be yourself. Don't try to be what God made you to be. You don't got to enhance yourself that much and none of that, because y'all already beautiful. Like y'all some nice looking girls. I don't need all that extra stuff.
But that's not what you said, Play.
Yeah.
You said you taught them how to be women. I listen. I don't know, y'all. You said you taught them how to be women. You ain't get out the hot seat that fast.
But that, you know what? I had to take that back. We both as parents had to do it together, because they had to learn from a man perspective, how I had to tell them about boys. I like, I tell them how I used to be when I was little. I just say that, how rough we was, and how what we was trying to do with the girls, So yeah, I had to let them, I got to put the games in the girls. The boy, my son was easy. The girls, you got to get them game,
When I
You
was
didn't teach them how to be women. You just
I
taught
didn't
them
know we
dance.
could. When I was growing up, I didn't know that we could ask for stuff like get our hair and stuff done. And when when I was already out of high school, my little sister was in high school, and she was asking to get her hair and her nails and stuff done, and they was doing it for her, and I didn't get that treatment.
That was your mama.
No, that was you too. That was you too.
Yeah.
Y'all
That was
used to
your
get her hair
mama.
done and stuff. I ain't get to wear my hair. I had to wear whatever I had on my head in high school.
Mhm.
Mama got my hair done maybe 2 times. That was about it. And that's why Daddy started doing hair. I mean, she was already doing hair, but like
That was your mama.
not you though. That was you too. She would come to you for
I kinda
money and you
agree.
would give it to her. I didn't know we could come to y'all for money. I didn't
Why
know that.
not?
What you mean? We had to do chores. Y'all never said we could ask y'all for money. Sierra just started asking you for money, and y'all would just give it to her. I'm like, dang, it was that easy. Dang, all I would get was lunch money. I would get $10 for lunch money a week. That was it. That's all I got. That ask Day.
So it wasn't all pieces of creams in the king house then.
I didn't complain then, but I didn't notice it. I was mostly observing everything. Like I'm not gonna complain and say, "Dang, can I get my hair done?" Like it is what it is. I was already out of high school. I couldn't ask then. Like she was in high school, so they kept real good. She looked really good in high school. When I was in high school, I was like, man, all these grown people in here with they had their hair nicely laid. My hair, I had a flat iron and crimped up, like the little crimp. The hair would be crimped up. That was my hair. Like I had to walk around with like old lady hair. Like it wasn't my hair wasn't always done. Oh, a ponytail. I had a regular pony. I just looked basic. And my little sister, she was like really strutting her stuff. They made sure she was good with clothes and everything. Like, Mama, I want these new shoes. Could you give me these shoes? And here come him. He would immediately go and throw her some money for some new shoes and some hair and stuff. I didn't know that we could do that. So yeah, that's the one thing that I'm jealous of.
Let me segue into another question, guys.
I'm agreeing 100% with you.
Wait, hold on. Go ahead, Camille. What you agree with?
Everything. I mean, like, I'm not gonna say I look rough, but I did not look as good as my sister does now. Like I said, I didn't really ask to get my hair done. It would kind of just get done, but it was never really how I wanted it. I don't
right.
But I had manners, so I couldn't tell the lady, I hate what you just did. Like, why would you do that? Because my mother's paying for it, so I didn't want to be rude. I would just sit there and silently cry because I didn't like it. I would just sit there and I would just be like, I'd rather just I got done. But she would give me the church bump ends, and my hair was very long. I don't know what that was about because my hair was so long, but somehow they found a way to bump the ends. But because my hair was longer, it just looked like long bumped ends. And I was like, I don't know why that is. My mother just would tell me, oh, they'll just fall out. Like the wind will just whoosh and they'll just fall out. But yeah, in high school, I wasn't giving. And I went to high school during COVID too, so I had to wear a mask. So it's not like I could really do my makeup or anything, I just look super basic. I would just go to school, regular top. I wore like the same 3 pair of pants. Not that I didn't have.
Oh my God, me too.
Like all my pictures, like of me trying to look cute, I had like the same 3 pair of pants and the same 2 pair of shoes that I only liked. And
you see what you heard what she said that I only liked. So it wasn't that she only had 3 pair of pants or 2 shoes. She only chose to wear those 3 pants and those 2 shoes. She got plenty of stuff. Guess what? She may have gotten less because she was the oldest. Now, her younger sister would get a lot of hand-me-downs, so I'll give her that. But she got plenty of stuff. She just chose not to wear it. Her sister does it to this day. They get brand new stuff from other people, or we'll buy it and we'll find it in the closet up at the top of the closet like several months later.
We don't like it.
Hey, can I say this real quick? So as the baby of 10, I think sometimes the older kids get mad at the younger kids because time evolves, and maybe your parents, not saying your parent, but sometimes parents didn't have it for the older kid, but by the time the younger kid come around, they have more for that kid just
Yes.
because of life happens, better
Yes.
jobs, better finances, and we're gonna get to another question that's gonna deal with that in a second. And so when I was coming around, then I was getting the Jordans. I don't know what my sister was getting because I knew my mother had a better job when I was coming through high school, probably than with my sister, and then went through high school. So I think we look at things like, oh man, my younger sister, young brother got this and that. I just think, I don't know, parents, y'all can agree or disagree with me. I think sometimes it evolves, time evolves from when you got your daughter that's 20 compared to your son that's what DJ's 10 or whatever. So it's not like they didn't want to get you done. This probably that's what they best they had at the time. And then when the other one's coming through, you're like, dang, what the world? But I don't think it was like that really. But it looks like that. I don't know. Y'all can. Obi, what you think about that?
I mean, I agree with you. I think I don't think I got a lot as a kid, but my sister, who was only a couple of years younger than me, she got more than I did when I was in high school and in middle school, and like to this day, she still gets more than me, and I don't understand it. But I think when adults evolve, they get paid more money. They are able to like do more for their kids than they could do 5 or 10 years ago. So I understand it's a blessing for the younger ones, but it's a curse for the older ones. And the older ones, like me, still hold on to the fact that I didn't get the Jordans or I didn't get the Bally's or whatever I wanted, but my sister got them. But I understand because it's just times change.
Story of my
So
life.
so she was raised when we were struggling, and so yeah, she didn't get as much. But I think, and she may not give us credit for it, but she's really good with money now. And I think maybe it was because she grew up when we didn't have a lot. I don't even think she knew how much we struggled because we made sure she didn't know that.
Hmm.
She's okay. She said she did, so she knew. She knew. She claims that she knew when we were on the struggle bus. But she's really good with money now. So I'm very proud of the fact that that was instilled in her, whether it was from us struggling or from just her deciding in her own mind at that time, it's like, well, I don't want to struggle like that. So I'm going to do things differently. I'm cool with that. I definitely want my kids to learn from my mistakes. And I tell them all the time, I want you to be 10 times better than I am. So if I'm here, I want you to be like 10 steps above me. That would make me very proud. And so, yes, we constantly push them. So, but yeah, you're right, Ed. We do evolve. So DJ, yes, DJ get what he wants. DJ is not a bad kid. He's a good kid. We have it to give him. So yes, he gets a lot. Get what he wants. They're all spoiled though, right? If we just be real honest, most parents want to give their children the world. But we got to balance that with making sure we don't spoil them rotten or turn them into horrible human beings. But at the end of the day, parents want to give their kids every single thing that they want to make them happy because we love them. But you got to balance that and say, well, I can't give them this. Can't give them a car at 16 because they're not responsible enough. We got to be able to make some of those decisions that they might not like, but ultimately, parents love their kids. They want to do for
Hey, let me say, I'm gonna segue into another question. So we talking about finances. Okay, so I'm gonna use this little story quickly. So when Naomi, she's the oldest, she's 14. Mason is 6, but luckily when I had Naomi, unlike probably when you had Camille, Naomi gets all the Jordans still, and she's older, and Mason gets the Jordans too as younger. So luckily I was able to keep them pretty much balanced. But I know eventually Mason's gonna get more than Naomi as she get older. But speaking of finances, for all the parents, the question is: do you think finances hindered you from better raising slash upbringing? Let's go, Sheena.
Um, no, because I think I'm doing pretty good. I have a nice paying job, so and even when CJ was born, I had the same job, So I think his upbringing and stuff pretty much is the same, if not better now.
Play. What you think? Do you think your finances hindered you from a better raising slash upbringing?
Not really. Financing them, well, maybe as far as keeping them in a stable house. Yeah, that's probably it. But everything else was, it didn't hinder me to, not raising the kids the way I wanted to raise them.
Obi, how about you?
I mean, the more you have, the better. But it could also be a curse at the same time because you could have finances, but try to overcompensate for something that's not there. Like for me, I would do more for my kids because me and my wife or ex-wife at the time, we broke up. So I would do more for them financially when I should have been doing for them mentally. But I was young, I didn't know any better. So I just did what I thought was best at the time. Again, like I said, you can evolve, you can mature and get wiser as you get older. But when you're in that moment, you don't understand a lot of things that you're doing.
Derek, what about you? Do you think finances hinder you from a better raising / upbringing?
I don't think so. I think we always were able to provide them with the basics, home, utilities, food, clothes. Having more money back then would have probably allowed us to kind of like what Obi said, give them a little bit more. But I don't necessarily know if that would have made everything better, right? Because again, the more you have, the more you do, you're more inclined to want to give. And sometimes it's harder to strike that balance of making sure they're well-rounded because you just want to give. So I think sometimes a little bit of struggle within reason, it helps to develop character in all of us, right?
Yeah.
I think probably all of us got a little bit of a struggle story. Don't really matter who struggled more. I think we probably all got a little struggle story. But it helped develop us, right? And so that struggle, if our kids participated in it or were part of it or felt it, probably wasn't pleasant, but it helped to develop us, make us grateful for what we got today.
Yeah, and you got to look at it like, look how these kids be acting out when these celebrities, they let the money raise their kid, and they get older, they start acting out. Just have just
Like T.I. son.
yeah, pretty much. You know.
Stand
That's
on business.
He's standing on business.
he was standing on business, but yeah, but that's almost like the money raise your kids, so they lose respect for you for some reason. I don't know how that worked, but yeah.
Do y'all think, parents, do y'all think that parents trying to live through their children, through athletes, through sports, through, vicariously through their children? Do parents do that? And if so, why do you think they do that?
I think it's missed opportunities on the parents, right? If a father played football and blew his knee out, then go get a chance to go pro. If his son is a ball player and he's like, okay, I got to live vicariously through my son, try to get him to where I wanted to be. For me, it was the exact opposite. My dad played football at high school and college. He was one of the best at FAMU University, was on his way to go pro, but he decided to get married and start a family. He would not encourage us in sports. He was like, I want you to study. I want you to get good grades. You can do more with your life with a good education than you can being an athlete. So we were athletic, but we did not get pushed at all by my parents. And so it was the exact opposite. But I think a lot of parents do try to prop their kids up and put a lot of undue pressure on them because they're like, I want to live my lost glory days through my kid.
And so I look at it a little different. I look at it as I'm not trying to live through Mason, but when you're a child, you might not have that dog in you. So you might not became a good football player or basketball player or soccer, hockey, whatever. But as you get older, you start watching these sports, you start studying these sports. So now you know the tools to give your child. I know what to give Mason for football to help him out. I know how to show him how to shoot a jump shot, how to show him how to play defense, how to show him how to. I can't put a dog inside him. Nobody can put that dog inside. You have to have some kind of dog for any sport you play. But it's like you see potential in your child and you know how to give them the tools that you might not have from your father or from your coaches. No, we all have bad coaches. Sorry. Sometimes you get bad coaches. I hate to say it, but sometimes you just have bad coaches. And I think for me, I don't think sometimes yeah, parents are trying to live through their children. You see it all the time. But I think sometimes it's just parents know now, oh man, this soccer make my son a better soccer player. You might be watching some stuff, or you might be taking notes, or you might go get maybe Derek is good at soccer. Hey Derek, can you help my kid out? You know, and then or Derek give you some tricks. So I look at it a little different, and some parents actually that's more knowledgeable of the game now to help their child out. What you think, O?
I mean, I agree. I think that for me, it's like I have a grandson and he plays football. And I used to play football when I was younger, but like now I can tell him some things that my dad didn't tell me or my coach didn't tell me when I was his age. Luckily for me, thank God, he has a great coach and he's on a great team. So he's advancing his skill set to be a good football player, a great person, and a great student. A lot of coaches don't care about what you do in class. They only care if you go to class. A lot of coaches don't care about you being a good steward or a good son at home. They just want to see what you can do on the football field. And he has both of those. And I'm pushing that and supporting the coach because the coach is a man of God. And me being a man of God, I'm going to support whatever he does. And that's just going to make my grandson's life better. I just got to keep him on the right path.
Play. What do you
Yeah.
think?
Well, my son, I taught all my kids the basics of how to work the DJ equipment. So, but my son, he learned how to mix and everything on his own. And I be trying to push him to do, to take on the DJing thing, but I try to be careful not to push him too much,
He
well
do
to the point
parties,
where
right?
he do it. He don't do it like he don't really promote himself like I did. It's like he might do it, but not like I do, like I did. So, I try to push him, but I try not to push him too hard to the point where he don't like doing it.
Hmm.
Let me ask y'all this last question. Do y'all think parents be jealous of their kids' success? Like say instance, let us say for kicks and grins that Derek didn't go to college. Still successful, but didn't go. He went to college, him and Kenya, Tennessee State, Balls, Boo, go Dogs. But let's say if he didn't go, right? And Camille went to Winston Stadium, Salem, and she graduated. Do you think sometimes parents be jealous of the kid that was more successful than they are?
I would hope not, but I'm sure there are some parents that
Yeah.
struggled and never got out of the struggle, but their kids were successful and they may feel some kind of way. But ideally, parents want their children to do better than them. Like if we feel like we're here, we are in a good spot. Again, you want your child to like be 10 times greater than what you were. Because I mean, that's what being a parent is, right? You pour
Yeah.
everything you have into your child, and you want that child to not only be a decent human being, but also be successful, happy, blessed, all of that kind of stuff. Like it blows my mind that a parent would like hinder their child from greatness at all. But we know it happens out there, right? They just say, well, I ain't go to college, so why you want to go to college? You need to come work the family business or something like that. When their child could go to college and do greater things. But again, they just sometimes we have this, we've all heard it and said it, the crabs in a barrel mentality.
Mhm.
That can happen even inside a household with family members, which is sad, but we know it happens. But yeah, I want her to be so much more than what I am when she's older.
Yeah.
Yeah, and for me, I kind of I agree with him because I know when I was growing up, my family did struggle, and I wanted to do better than what my parents did. So my main goal in life was to make more money than they did to be able to provide for my family, and I was able to do that. And I found myself making more money than both of my parents put together. And when my son graduated from college, he went to North Carolina A&T. He became an engineer, and his first job offer that he received, he was making more money than I was making. And I was happy for him, but I can also see how parents can be like jealous or envious of the kids. It doesn't make any sense to me, and I don't even understand how they formulate those opinions. or come up with those ideas because I would be happy for mine, just like I'm happy for my son, happy for my daughter, and I think everybody should be happy for their children because they raised them.
Sheena, what you
Yeah.
think?
Um, for me, I did struggle a little bit growing up, because my parents were separated at one point. But being an adult now with the child, I know that I was into a lot of activities in school and stuff like that. So I do try to kind of push my child to do certain activities in school like that. Like he's into baseball. He's into like flag football right now and stuff like that. So I do want him to like push and, do different things like I did. So, but if he doesn't, choose to do that, then that's fine. I'm not gonna like hound him for it.
Carlos?
Yeah, look, I agree with everything they say. There are parents out there that's be jealous of their kids' success, but me, I need all my kids to be better upgraded than we was, make more money, be successful. I need y'all to do that. You know, you know what I'm saying, Didi. I
Yes, sir.
always trying to push them to do better than us. That's how we supposed to be raising our kids. We all supposed to be trying to raise our kids to be better than us. And that be the plan as far as parenting. That should be the plan.
Well, for me, I think that you should never be jealous of your child, but be proud of your child.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Proud that you raised them the right way and they became more successful than you, whether it's going to college, whether it's having a better career, whether it's maybe making some kind of athletic team that you only went so far, maybe high school level, and they made to college. What the day you turn and start being jealous of the kid is the day you should look at yourself and wonder why. Why are you being jealous of this child's success?
Right.
Obviously, you did something great to motivate this child to become who he or she is. So it
Hmm.
sickens me when I see or hear that a parent is jealous because by their actions. You can tell they're jealous by their actions they're displaying. And it's like, don't be jealous, be proud. Be proud that you did a good job, even if you was on the struggle bus or you didn't have or didn't wasn't the person that you wanted to be, but your kid superseded you. And guess what? To me, they're going to remember it in the long run. Camille's going to remember everything that Derek and the lovely Kenya that's online talking. We're like, what? Kenya cracking me up online. Um, she's going to remember the thing they instilled in her, and I'm hoping. Sorry, Derek and Kenya. I'm hoping she do supersede Derek and Kenya. I hope DJ. I hope Kimura supersedes them. I hope Naomi and Mason do the same with me. So we have to remember, and even when we see somebody that's jealous of their child, maybe we should question them a little bit, not in a rude way, but like, thank God that she was a good parent, that they were able to be more successful in whatever they're doing instead of hindering them. So that's just my thoughts on that. So before we get out of here, we're going to let the lovely young ladies have the last word. Anything you want to say, Miss Camille, before we get up out of here?
Not really.
You don't got nothing else you want to tell your dad? You want to share with your dad and mom? Right, you got the platform.
Nothing really. I mean, like he said, I do tell stories from time to time about things in my childhood that they don't know about. It's all for laughing giggles, though.
What kind of stories? Can you give us? Can you give us one more story? There's one more story before we go that they might not know about.
He look alike.
um.
And Derek and King, don't hold this against her. Don't hold this
Okay.
against her. This story.
Okay, that's not really a bad one. I was very good in school. I really was from a young age, and it really came from him. I was very much. I had no choice. So, and all my teachers knew it from middle, high school, even elementary school. I was always good in school. So when I did kind of start to act up, I always made sure that I never acted up enough to get in trouble at home. So I had a little boyfriend he wasn't my boyfriend yet. I had a friend in middle school who ended up being my boyfriend. And this teacher didn't really like us together. So we used to kind of like bother her about it. And I was on my phone during class and she snatched it out of my hand and said, you don't deserve to y'all don't deserve each other. So I got in her face and I snatched it back. And I said, don't touch my stuff. I said, don't touch my stuff. And I walked out. And she just was like, and I was like, yeah. I was like, don't do that again. But yeah, and another time, I wasn't like skipping class. I was just in the hall.
Wait. Before you go to another time, wait. We got wait. Camille, you snatched the phone out of the lady's hand.
I snatched my phone, and I wouldn't have snatched it from her if she didn't snatch from me. I am always respectful to adults. I am, but I knew she was trying to embarrass me in public, and I didn't like that. And she did snatch it out of my hand. Like, what if she would have cracked my phone? Am I supposed to tell my parents, well, I was in class on my phone and she snatched it and it dropped? It's just kind of like, I still would have got in trouble, but it's like, then they would have went up to the school and it just would have been a whole mess because she cracked my phone and now they have to fix it because she was not going to fix it. I already knew her. She wasn't going to fix it. She was going to blame me. And it was kind of like...
I'll say one thing real quick. Parents, you all know your children. And sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes these teachers are really nasty to your children. And if you know your children, don't just assume, first of all, don't go to school just acting a complete jerk. But sometimes you got to know your child. And sometimes these teachers are really, really nasty to these kids because they might be at home. If it's a woman, maybe at home getting verbally abused by her husband or vice versa. And so they go to school where they got some kind of authority or power. And sometimes they do display it on your child. I know my cousin might be watching this and no, she's like in the administrator school system, but it don't go for all teachers and stuff. But sometimes the child, you know your child, you know, like, yeah, my child, yeah, he or she did that dumb crap. Or sometimes you like, no, my child ain't gonna just snatch the phone for no reason. My child ain't gonna talk out of turn for no reason. Like my stepson, when I was married, he used to challenge the teachers, and they used to get mad that he challenged them, but they just tell him stuff that was wrong, and like he'd be like, "No, that's not what you said," and they'll punish him. And they tell us, and we're here, and we're like, and we know, you know exactly right, Derek, and so we knew that what he was saying was legit. You know, and we tell them like, well, maybe you need to say it in a different way, but he was legitimately telling them, this is not what you told me. So parents, just be on the lookout sometimes for that and give your kid a little bit of grace if you know your kid. But if you know your kid, you just gonna say, hey, come here, don't snatch the phone. Like, come on now. But
hey, Ed, this is why we would tell them, let us be the bad guys. You always respect authority and let us handle it. Because if you try to handle it on your own, you're always gonna come up in the wrong. And all they're going to do is say, well, the student disrespected or the student snatched or the student did that. And they both have examples of when we done gone up to the school over, like you said, a teacher that was saying the wrong thing, doing the wrong thing. We have no problem being very diplomatic, but letting the school system know you're not going to take advantage of my child. So we would tell them, let us fight your battles. Let us be the bad guys. We'll handle business for you. Don't try to handle it yourself. But that's an interesting story. That's awesome.
Camille,
I never got in trouble for it. Like I don't know why she didn't call my parents about it. I thought she would have, but I mean,
never heard of it.
But she took my phone first for no reason. Well, I was on it, my phone. You know, that's not important.
Hey, I have a little story I had with my daughter, not Didi, my other daughter. Okay. One day she came home. She told me she was being bullied in class by some boys, and I'm like, first my thought was go up there and whoop on some boys, but I said nah. I said go tell the teacher what's going on and let me know what the teacher say. You know, so I like tell the teacher. So she come back and tell me that the teacher just told her to sit down, and you know, and didn't pay her no attention. You know, she was being, but they was throwing stuff at her. So I said, well, again, I was thinking like I'm finna go up there and beat some kids, you know. But I said, you know what? I say, slap one of the other. I say, just hit one of the boys and see what, and the teacher gonna pay attention to it. Now I know that that's not good parenting. I knew that was kind of wrong to tell my daughter to fight, you know, but she did it. And next thing you know, I'm getting a call from the school to come up there. They said, "Did you tell your daughter to fight?" You know, I like, yeah, cause you know, I didn't want to come up there and take care of the business myself. You know, I said, she says, I told her to tell the teacher, and the teacher didn't told her to sit back down, and then you know, and then bother. So I told her to go ahead and you know take care of her business. Okay, and this is not my thing. What y'all think about that? Do y'all think I was wrong in that? Because I was, you know, what y'all think about that?
She put them in both of them in a headlock too. Don't forget that part.
Yeah, she pretty much whipped the boys.
Yeah, I taught my daughters I'm not raising victims. I said don't start nothing, but if somebody starts with you, make sure you defend yourself, and I'll come up there and provide cover for you. Yeah, but now if they're bullying or they get into a fight over a boy or some trifling stuff, then I'm gonna have a problem. But if they're defending themselves, and my middle child, she fought two boys off on the bus one time. They were trying to pull her out of the seat, and she had to fight. And so we had her back on that one. So yeah, if it's justified and it's self-defense, throw them hands, throw them elbows, throw them feet.
So when I was married and I had the stepson, whatever you want to call it, when he was 6 or 7, whatever, so he was getting bullied. Some kid like put him in the Fort Nelson and stuff, and he came and told me, and I was like, all right. And he was an older kid, so I taught him a couple of wrestling moves, and he actually used it on his friend one day. It was so crazy. But I told him like, somebody bothered you, punched him in the face, and we'll handle it later. But then he started fighting everybody. He became a fighter, whooping on everybody. Like they're talking about his last name, he get the whooping on. I was like, oh my God, I could have been a monster. But I told him, I tell Mason that too, and my daughter Naomi, like somebody bother you, you punch them in the face. Don't even waste time with it. Because people shouldn't be able to got to go to school and get bullied. You know, like Eric said, you don't be a punching bag. You know, as soon as somebody bother you, you punch them in the face. Like Mason said, some kid was messing with him, and I was like, "You tell the teacher." He was like, "Yeah." I said, "Next time, you punch him in the face, and the teacher will recognize it." Mm-hmm. Sheena, Obi.
Oh, I agree with him. Hey, somebody messes you, you punch him in the face, and I'll deal with it. You know, and that's all I got to say, because that's all it is. Because if you bold enough to keep messing with my kid, they are instructed to tear you up. And I will tell the teacher, I'll tell the principal, I'll tell the superintendent. I instructed them to do that because the teacher was not protecting them in class.
Exactly. And I agree with that as well because my son was getting bullied last year when he was in second grade, and it was this boy that was older than him at that. And like he came home and he told me, I'm like, did you tell the teacher? He was like, yeah, but she didn't do nothing. So I'm like, okay, next time he do it, hit him back. And he hit him back, and he ain't messed with him since either.
Right.
And they called my phone, and I'm like, well, yes, I did tell him to do it because the teacher didn't do nothing about it.
So on Facebook, Play, this is to you, Play. Shantiana said, thank God she was able to handle herself. But what if it would have turned out the other way and they jumped her?
I would have got involved then. It would have been on from that point on. Like when I see these kids and they jumped on my daughter, she's a girl, and these two boys, I'm whooping them and I hope their parents get into it so I could whoop on them.
I think she's saying like they were bullying her, and then she just started fighting them before they. Because you said that they was bullying her, but they didn't hit her, right?
They were throwing stuff at her.
They was throwing stuff at her. Okay.
Yeah.
I think she thought like they was bullying her, but it didn't hit her. Then she went to go hit them and put them in headlocks. So now they defending
Actually,
themselves.
but when she hit one of the boys, the other boy jumped in. They tried to jump on her, but I guess she got the best of them by herself. I don't know. My daughter kind of rough. I don't know.
Okay. Hey D, do you have the last thought? Anybody got any thoughts before D have a last thought? I'm gonna give her the last thoughts of the night. Anybody got anything else?
Didi?
Oh, Didi, where you go? Well, I don't know what Didi is. So, Sheena, let us know what's happening next week.
There she go.
Okay,
You have any last thoughts?
I'm sorry.
You have any last thoughts?
Oh, I just wanted to say that growing up with my dad was beautiful, and he made sure that we had everything that we needed. I mean, even though I asked him for more, I didn't know that. You know what I'm saying? I really love my daddy, and I really appreciate you. And that's it. I had a really good, and I appreciate it for us.
That's so sweet. Sheena, can you let people know what's going on next week?
Yes, January 2nd, the topic will be men's egos are too fragile, and that is why they cannot handle the truth from women. Do you agree or disagree?
Well, can you say that one more time?
Men's egos are too fragile. That is why they cannot handle the truth from women. Do you agree or disagree?
Oh, hey y'all. It's gonna get heavy next week. Topic next week men's egos are fragile. That's why women don't tell the truth to them. Do you agree or disagree? If y'all want to be a part of this topic, leave a comment for us, or you could DM one of us and let us know you want to be a part of this topic. Again, it's gonna go down next week. We love everybody that came out. Thank you, Facebook. I'm about to log off Facebook. Thank you for coming through. Thank you for the comments. YouTube. I appreciate everybody that was on YouTube. I appreciate you all, the panel that came out. Camille, Derek, D. Thank y'all so much. Y'all was great. And like always, I love you. God love you. Go out there and be great on purpose. Until next week, y'all. Peace out.
Peace. Thank you.